Lou, another way to think about the difference between the black flag and the U flag is the U flag is more or less the same, but it's a softer version.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a nice flag. Yeah. So all right, if everybody's going to be a dick, then you're okay.
But you're only way down is the general recall, right?
Correct. Yeah, or an abandonment. Yeah. So the race gets abandoned, you get to come back in and have another go, which is nice. But you wouldn't want to really risk that. So then we're going to recall signals. So you'll be familiar with these, I'm sure. But the first one there with the blue cross on it is our X flag, which is individual recall. So one or more boats are over the line early and they need to get their butts back behind the line so that they can start again properly.
So when that happens, do you do a kind of dip and keep it up?
I tend not to. With keelboat racing, I tend to announce them on the radio anyway. Yeah. And so I will say boat 1, 2, 3 is over, boat 1, 2, 3 is clear. So you should, hopefully if you're listening, you should know. With dinghy racing, we just leave it up and it's up to them to figure it out, which is a bit ugly. But sometimes we, especially if it's younger people, we tend to go, oh good, that boat is over the back of the line now, they can keep sailing. So they kind of hear us. So individual recall is good if you know that it was you. Sometimes people feel guilty and come back and it's not them, which is kind of fun. I had one come back from a different start the other day. That was good. They thought they'd started in the wrong route, but they hadn't. I started early. Anyway, it was a 6-hour race. Sorry about that. So the first substitute, which is the next one along, our yellow and blue triangle there, is the general recall. So basically what that means is the race officer is not able to identify all boats that were over the line early. So we need to bring everybody back and say, so you might have seen that one used in the NWKR for a while, but it does happen. Big fleets, you will get this happen. Dinghy fleets happens quite regularly. If you start to get a few of these building up, or even 1 or 2, you're probably going to start moving through those penalties in the top one with preparatory signals. So we'll start with a P and then we'll go to a U and then we'll go to a black if we're feeling grumpy. Yes, Dave?
Is there any particular situation where a sound is actually required?
We're just getting to that. Yes.
You know this.
So with our recall signals, so we have one extra signal at the start for the individual recall. So your gear 2 would be the start gun and another one. And then with the general, it's 3 total. So the start gun and 2 more. The only sound signal that is absolutely required to happen in the whole of the rules is the X flag, is the individual recall. Does anyone want to have a hazard guess as to why that may be? Yeah. Basically, you won't look if you don't know. If you don't hear something, you're not going to look back and go, oh, it's an individual record. So that's why they do it.
And I think maybe the change of market has to have says.
Oh, there's a bit about drawing attention to things, that's true. But that's pretty much the main one that we're worried about, making a sound signal. If any of your other start signal sounds fail, it's deeply annoying, but it doesn't matter. The flags are the communication, other than that. Good question.
So the flags are actually important?
Flags are important. The signal is actually the flag going up or the flag going down. And so sometimes you see flag operators kind of and have it up as quickly as we possibly can because it's actually the signal.
So have you noticed sometimes the people on the stop they're a bit late getting the flag up, they get a bit stuck.
But none of us are perfect. Sometimes you get stuck.
So we just wing it and just go, we assume it's correct even though it's kind of a bit janky.
In practice, and even I do, when I'm timing things and setting watches and whatnot, I go by the sound signal just for ease of convenience because I can't be looking up at the flags and you people on the start line as well. So generally we work off the sound signal with the tiniest bit of leeway left in it so that nobody's too upset about it. So we've got a few more flags, sorry, we're working our way through these. We have a shortened course, so that's the opposite to the P flag. And that means the course has been shortened. So basically if you see this guy, keep going where you were supposed to be going, but then that's the end. Generally how it works.
And do you find the short course people often don't know how to finish a race in short course?
Very often it's a problem. So generally what we say with short course is that if you keep sailing the course you were supposed to be sailing anyway, you will not get it right. That's the theory. Some places will have their own rule about that. So for I guess Summers Yacht Club maybe that has one that's basically if you see this on a boat you must go straight to the tower and finish across the normal finish line. It kind of works. And I think here in your sailing instructions it says finish between the flag, which is on the tower, and anchor at the gates. That's probably what you're going to do anyway. So the general rule is keep sailing, and if you keep sailing, then you won't muck it up with any luck.
So look, going back to the start,
Yeah.
is there a clear start signal as such?
Everything down pretty much, and
Okay.
that's it. Yeah. So if there's nothing flying or nothing that belongs to your start, there might be another flag that goes up for the next start.
Right.
But once everything comes down, you're on. Sort of like the Grand Prix kind of situation. When a flag comes down, so that's your indication. But generally, we're going to be looking at this. The sound signal is pretty much what we're working on in the end, but the flag is the actual signal.
But on that,
Some stuff about the Navy, I don't know.
can you clarify what happens with a rolling start, with say with different classes or different divisions?
Yeah, absolutely. So often we'll have more starts than one, because there'll be different divisions starting one after the other. And it's convenient for us as race officers to just keep the sequence rolling through. So we might have a 5-minute start sequence, and then at the start of the first one, we commence the 5 minutes of the second one, so that we don't waste any time, and it's just easier for our watchers to get going and all that sort of thing. So pretty much what you'll see is that all the flags will go down for the first start, and then at the same time, the warning signal will go up for the next start.
The class
And you can just keep rolling.
So
yeah.
the warning,
Yeah.
the warning signal typically is the class flag.
It'll be a class flag. I think here you guys use letter flags, don't you? Sometimes with
Yes,
your
so-
flag courses, yeah.
And then let's say you have a separate second class starting in 5 minutes time.
Yep.
Well, at that start signal for the first class,
Yep.
the prep signal,
That
the
will-
warning signal
that will be
is
there.
the class flag
Exactly. So there'll be like a
on 0 seconds for the first class.
exactly. Exactly. Yes. So we have up and we go down like so. Yeah. So sometimes you can have the same person doing it, or it's on the same halyard, and you literally just keep pulling until the right one comes up.
Actually, down at Geelong this year, they ran it slightly differently. They ran a minute between
Yep.
sequences, etc.
Yep.
Confused it.
I had that very
Perfectly valid.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Absolutely. You can have as long as you like. Yeah. You can have a minute and 24 seconds if you want. It's just a pain in the butt. So you wouldn't. It is a good reason to have some gap in between if you think there's going to be some slow pokes. So if there's going to be a whole bunch of boats still parked up on the start line when you've got the next lot coming through, that's a bit ugly. So we might choose to put 5 minutes in between. So I did that at South Peninsula the other week. We had 3 divisions, and the first division was all right. The second division was quite slow. So we put 5 minutes in between, so that the third division, which was the catamarans, didn't actually kill anyone. And that seemed to work quite well. Where are we up to? Changing course. Well, hey, all right, we can knock this roll off all at once. So the Charlie flag, as we call it, is the blue, white, red, white, blue striped one. Is the C flag, and that is basically means that the next mark has been changed. So if we have wind shift, if we have a significant amount more wind or a significant amount less wind, terrible grammar, then what we can do is actually change the course if we've got flag marks. It's much more difficult to do if you've got fixed marks, and put it somewhere else. So the way that we do that is with a few options. We can move the course to starboard, which is our green triangle. So basically, generally you're going to be changing the wind marks. It's a bit hard to change the wind marks. So if I'm standing here and I'm setting my wind mark up there, that means I'm going to put it over there instead. And often I'm going to put up some kind of bearing, so I might say it was a 180 and now it's moved around a bit. The other one is to port, so we have a red rectangle there. Why do you reckon those shapes are different? Oh, we just have 2 rectangles. Like
Because you're colourblind.
we have lots of colourblind sailors, if you can believe it. And even those of us who aren't colourblind, it can be very hard to see colours when they're flying away from you in the sunny weather. So
It's also standardised to international marine signals.
There you
See it
go.
in the channels.
that's true, actually. Yeah,
Unless you're
that's
in
true.
America.
Yeah, well, they're different, aren't they?
So Lou, when you have a flag up, there's like red or green and it's the same shape, and
Yeah.
somebody on an individual boat goes up to you and asks what colour it is, can you answer?
It's a really good question. I mean, if it's an error that I have made that I can correct.
No, this is actually a valid question for the person
Yeah.
colourblind. They want to vote on their own.
Oh, sure. Well, essentially what I've done is I've made an error, haven't I? Because I haven't given you the flag I'm supposed to use, which is the starboard one, the air triangle. So if you've given you two rectangles as your triangles or something, then that's going to be hard. So generally I would suggest not doing that, but if you did do it, then yeah, I guess you could say always to the right. I mean, generally what happens with course changes is if the first boat gets it right, you're fine. If the first boat doesn't get it right, that can be very messy.
We've had the whole fleet go round.
Oh, yes.
That way.
And so you kind of go, you're standing there sweating on the starboard going, please tap, please tap. So
Like over there, and somebody on the wing mark on the other side of the pool.
Oh, no.
So everyone's going to turn around and we go back.
wrong. Yeah, no, you can get it wrong, and that's ugly. But we like to make the mark that you're going around quite different to the one that you were supposed to be going around before, so that nobody gets lost, and pull out the old one as quick as you can.
So I think the answer is if the green flag is a square, you probably can tell the colourblind person that is green.
You probably could in that very unlikely occurrence, but yes, you could. The other option we've got is to go to decrease the length of the leg or to increase it, and that happily we use a minus and a plus, because that makes sense to most people. And we put that up with our Charlie flag, and you can have a combo deal if you're feeling really fancy. So you can have it to starboard and shorter, you can have it to port and longer, whatever you like, and just put up all three, which is kind of fun. We don't tend to do that just for the heck of it, because it is a pain in the butt to organise, but to keep a fair race, we do use it from time to time. You probably won't see a great deal in keelboat racing, but you probably see it in the bigger regattas.
Andrew loves doing it, it's great.
He does not. I think that is a lie. Yes. None of us love it. You'd be a sick individual if you loved it, but it can be very helpful to save the racing, otherwise it's going to go to custard.
Yeah, but the problem is, none of my group pay attention.
Well,
I think that's on you.
That's on you.